Okay, we're recording. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for hopping on to our Thursday night team call. I'm really excited to be sharing with all of you a little bit about where I was this weekend and what has changed for me over the past, I would say, 2 years that kind of led to this transition. Um, so, where was it this weekend? I was at the New Leader Conference. And what that is when you hit the rank of 1 star diamond and you hold that rank for 6 weeks and you get a certain number of leadership points, you qualify for the New Leader Conference. It is a 2-day thing in California. And I went with Maria, who I just hopped on the call, and we had an amazing experience. But we did not get there overnight. And so a lot of times when we're watching other people, we see where they're at today and we don't see where they were before. And so I want to share with you that I've been a coach for almost 6 years. That's a really long time. I just hit diamond 2 years ago and 1 star last year. So it's almost like I rank advance. I was emerald for a really long time, and then I rank advanced one little bit at a time over the last 2 years. But you know what? That was the pace I went at, and we all have a choice to make. And I think my biggest takeaway from this weekend was making the decision to go all in. We say that a lot. And if I could go back in time when I was just a mom of one little baby who was 4 months old, and I made every excuse in the book on why I couldn't. I'm tired. I'm breastfeeding. I'm this. All the excuses. And then I became a mom of two, and I worked even harder at this and still made excuses. And then all of a sudden, I was pregnant with my third baby, and I was having the most horrific pregnancy ever, and something changed. I genuinely went all in. I did everything in my power to reach that rank of diamond because I knew that that's when my business would start. I knew that that's when the income would start. And I just remember getting ice cream at Rich Farm Ice Cream for anyone who's local. And there was another coach um, who does this full time, makes money, talks about it all the time. And I looked at her and I thought, I'm making $0 on this early maternity leave. My husband doesn't work. And I have sat on this opportunity for years. And I didn't have that plan B because I just was never consistent. I would put my foot on the gas, take my foot off the gas. I would invite a couple people, then I'd invite nobody. I'd invite 30 people, then I'd invite nobody. I'd follow up on everything that I possibly could, and then I'd stop following up. And I did this for years. And so when I saw her standing there and realized how I could probably have been making an income that whole maternity leave, but I wasn't. And it made me realize that I could do this because why could she? What was so different about her? Nothing. Nothing. We are all the same. Every month, we're at Success Club Zero. Every month, we're starting at the same spot. So don't look at me or Shane or any of those numbers and think, I can't be there. And so something that happened this weekend was they were talking about the road to elite. And that is not something that all of us are looking to do right this second. But it's important to hear that one of the top coaches, Melanie Mitro, came on stage and she said, if you want to be an elite coach, you need to hit SC20 every month. And I looked at Maria and I said, is that real? I said, I don't think so. And she was like, oh, I don't think so. I was like, that doesn't make sense. And I thought that everyone else around me was going to feel the same way. I believed that all those other 400 coaches were going to be like, yeah, girl, I'm not hitting SC20. No, they were hitting higher. Those women that were in the room with us were like, "Oh yeah, no, I minimally hit SC40." And I thought, "How? Where do you find the people? I don't have the people." And it opened my mind up to that every time I hit Success Club 5, I stop inviting. I wanna save those people for next month. I don't wanna run out of people. So I had this lack mentality that if I invited too many people, then I wouldn't have enough people next month. And some of you may have never hit Success Club before, and you're like, I can't even sell one challenge pack. How am I supposed to get to SC40?" So we went to dinner, and I asked one of the speakers who was um, like a top coach. And I said, "I'm just really confused. You said you hit SC60, and I'm not picking up what you're putting down." And so she said to me, "Okay, so break it down." I'm like, "Break it down to what? Like, I can't even fathom what you're saying." And she said, "You need to break it down to that every single end of week you are going to hit Success Club." She's like, "You're going to hit Success Club 5 every single week. And when the week ends, you need to know that you're hitting Success Club 5." And I was like, "Okay." And she said, I said, "So are you still doing like donut invites like we used to do, where if you don't know what that means, it's just like you just send these cold invites to everybody?" I'm like, "Are you still doing that? Is that working for you?" And she's like, "They're not really cold invites." She goes, "I invite every single one of my followers. If you are following me, you get an invite. Not if you like my stuff, not if you engage. If you follow me, you get an invite." She just goes down the list. She's like, "You're choosing to follow me. And if you don't like that I invite you, you can unfollow me." I was like, "Okay, that sounds reasonable." And these girls were just no different than Maria or I, but they were up there killing their businesses. One of them went from being a diamond coach at the New Leader Conference, and in 1 year, she's number 6 in the company. 1 year. And I just couldn't understand. But if I think about my own experience and that I went all in after so many years of just stopping, that it got me to that New Leader Conference. I finally started I finally started growing. I finally started believing in myself. I finally started being myself. And so we can sit here and we can say that, you need to be proof of the products. Absolutely. When To Be Mindset came out 2 years ago and I lost 70 pounds, that is when I became like the truest version of myself. It's when I finally felt good and confident and sexy and all the things. And so I started speaking that way. I started acting that way. I started looking at people like Shane and didn't think I could never be that. I thought, wow, I could stay up a little later. I could wake up a little earlier. I can do those things. And I stopped making the excuses. I stopped starting and stopping. So you need to get yourself in a mindset that even if you've been doing this for years and have gotten nowhere, it's never too late to say, "I'm all in today." It is never too late to invite every day. It's never too late to go back to anyone you've ever invited and follow up with them. Because as long as you're always showing up for your journey. So I think that was the key piece, is that no matter what happened in my life, no matter whether I was sick or having a hard time or I was depressed, I always showed up on social media. I was always authentic. And when I was struggling, I said, "Hey guys, I just want your grace right now. I know you're not seeing my face
Mm,
all the time, but I'm going through a really hard time. And if I felt comfortable sharing, I would. And if I didn't, I might just kind of leave it at that." But I always shared my truth, because you are going to go through hard times. Life is going to knock you down. But if you don't show up, people are going to go find someone else. If you don't follow up, people are going to go find someone else. So they may say, "I really love what you're posting every day," but they don't even know that you're a coach because you take your foot off the gas all the time, or you just post your selfie and you don't share about it. And until I went to this conference and really realized how little I was sharing about the business, that post today that I put about sharing your income and creating stories around that, because maybe you don't have an income yet. I didn't for a long time. So I had to steal Shane's story and say, look at this awesome woman and what she's doing for her family. I had to take, Trisha's story. I had to take someone else's story to share because I wasn't making an income. And until that first time that I made like, $40 and put all the money in my gas tank and was like, I filled my gas tank on Beachbody, you have to learn how to craft stories. And so when I was away this weekend, it was storytelling, right? It was, where am I at? Why am I there? What am I doing? And really staying true to myself all along the way. If I had been invited to something like this a couple years ago, I probably wouldn't have gone. For those of you that know, it was my first summit last year. And again, I've been a coach for almost for 6 years. I didn't go to summit. I don't know if it's because I didn't have belief. I felt like if I wasn't making any money, I shouldn't be spending any money. And I think that, again, that lack mindset, that I was so afraid that if I went to summit and I didn't rank advance, then I was a failure. If I went to summit and I didn't do good, then I was failing. And then what was the point of doing this? And I think I was so afraid to go all in because I felt like if I did go all in and I failed, then, like, was I a bad mom? Was I on my phone too much and it didn't work anyway? Did I sacrifice? Did I leave my kids? Did I travel and it didn't work? Like, what if I went to Summit and I never made a dime off of this? Yeah, I'd have awesome friends. Cool. But will I have sacrificed so much time with my kids? I always said I would never do that. And then all of a sudden, when I really started going all in and I really started seeing that, like, there was income coming in and I was building a team and I loved showing up for this every day, I thought, wow, could I really work less hours? Like, could that happen someday? Yeah, hell yeah, it can, to any of us. These women this weekend went from 0 to a million in a second because they put their heads down and hustled. And so, income disclaimer here, because that was the key thing. Beachbody does not guarantee any level of success or income. It is all your own hard work and hustle. So guess what? The income disclaimer gives you permission to say, I can make as much money as I want. I just have to do the work. And if I'm not willing to do the work, then that's cool too. I just need to say, you know what? I love this. This is fun. This is a hobby for me. I'm so excited to be here. You can love on your challengers. You can be a challenger. You can do this as a hobby. That's cool. I'm pretty sure, like, I could say I was a hobby coach for all these years, even though in my head I was a business builder. In my head, I was like, I'm a business builder. No, I was a hobby coach. I invited when I felt like it, and I didn't invite when I didn't. That's like, cool. It's okay. You're not going to hurt my feelings. And I think to be empowered, to be able to say who you are, and that's what they were teaching us as leaders, was to be able to look at our team and say, okay, are you really all in? Are you kind of in? Or do you just want to do this as a hobby for now and come back to me when you really do want to do it? No worries. It's up to you because it's your business. And sometimes people like us that are looking for community and looking for friendships and feel that sisterhood, when we join something like this, we start to lose ourselves again. We start to listen to, what your upline says, what that top coach says, what you're watching on Instagram, and you start to think, okay, well, almost like, right, your upline isn't your boss, your upline's your upline. And you can like me or you can not like me, but I'm going to do the best I can to create a family and to create a sisterhood. And if you don't want to build a business, you just got to say so. I'm never going to make you, Shane, Trisha, anyone that's upline, we're not going to make you build a business. We want to inspire you. We want you to want to build a business. But if you just want to be on our team just to hang out with us, cool. Because you need a little bit of everybody to be a team. You need the people that just want to bring the light to the challenge groups and that are your most loyal people. Not necessarily a discount buyer, but they're loyal and they want to participate and they want to be all in. That's cool. And you may ebb and flow with this business, right? Not everybody comes all in. I thought I did, but I didn't. And so I want to share this really powerful story, and I've shared it with my team, so I'm sorry that I'm repeating stuff to my team. But one of the corporate mentors at this event, the corporate mentors got on stage and shared, and each of them shared something different. And one of them is this woman named Sydney, and she is beautiful. And I have to like preface it with that she is absolutely stunning, and she has blonde hair, and she's thin, and she's gorgeous, and she has this presence, and she wore this fancy glittery big sleeved shirt, and she gets on stage and she's sharing this story how when she got offered the job to work for Beachbody corporate, she hated the job she was working in, but it was like a high powered job. And so she went when she became a mentor. She went to her Facebook page to someone she knew was a Beachbody coach. And she reached out to them, and they weren't friends, but they were acquaintances. And she said, "Hey, I just started working for Beachbody and I'm really curious. I help mentor other coaches on how to build their business. Why have you never invited me to be a coach?" And I'm thinking, what if someone asked me that? And so the girl said, "I didn't think you needed it. You're so beautiful and you're skinny and you have a good job, and I just didn't think you'd need anything like this. I just didn't think that you would want to." And Sydney's response was that she was anorexic and bulimic and severely depressed, and that she hated her job, and that Beachbody saved her life, but not in the way that it saved our lives. It saved her life because she works for corporate. It changed her life because she got offered a job, but somebody, and probably many people, passed through her profile over and over and over again because they saw her highlight reel and they saw this beautiful blonde bombshell girl that didn't need Beachbody. Like, how many of us have done that? Me, right? How many of us have judged someone? Like, I could see Alicia in my corner, and you are so beautiful. Like, when I saw you on the Power Hour, you are like literally so gorgeous. And when I see you, right? Like, if I saw you through my feed, I probably wouldn't invite you. I'd probably be afraid. And and you're looking at me with these big eyes like that's impossible. But like that's what I feel when I see you. I'm like, wow, she's so beautiful. Like, she doesn't need what we have. Like, she's got it together. And again, so we do that to each other. People now probably look at me and go, "Oh my god, she's so confident, like, she wouldn't need this." Yeah, I did need this. I needed this a lot, and it's only because of this that I got to where I am today. And so if there are people that you're watching that you're afraid to invite, I just did it before I got on this call. And now that I'm speaking it out, I'm going to go invite this girl. But I've been following her, and I thought she was going to be like my perfect person. And then I'm like, oh, I don't know. She's got a lot of followers, and she kind of looks like she really, almost is a really good mom blogger. So maybe she's like above my pay grade for it to invite. And I probably shouldn't invite her. No, bullshit. Maybe she doesn't even know about Beachbody. Just because we all know about Beachbody, just because we see it in our feed all day long, I still have people that don't know about Beachbody, or they don't really know that Beachbody is a thing that they can do as a way to earn income. So we have to share it. We have to share it all the time, and we have to share it authentically. We have to show up, and we have to invite. That's it. Like, it's as simple as that. They did not give us one tangible tip. Like, when you're sitting there and you're listening and you're like, I want someone to tell me how to invite. Get on those power hours, because guess what? They're telling us the same thing that Shane's been telling me for 6 years. And although I believed what Shane was telling me and I knew that she built a business, when you see Janelle Summers tell you to go and watch 10 stories and leave an emoji, you're like, really, Janelle? That's how you got to where you got to? It's almost unbelievable. It's almost unbelievable how simple this can be. You just have to do it. You just have to go all in. You have to throw out the excuses. Look, for me, Shane knows I don't stay up this late. This is past my bedtime. I do not stay up past 9 o'clock because I get up really early in the morning to do my workouts and to do it all before I go to work every day. But you know what? I've been staying up for those 9 o'clock power hours because for the first time, I genuinely have belief that if I show up every single day and do the things every single day, that I can be where Shane is. The post, did anyone catch what she made this week that paid her mortgage in 1 week? That wasn't posted to brag. It was posted because I asked for people to post what they made this week. And guess what? Like, is that actually real? Yeah. And Shane can attest it. Like, she's not even a top coach. Can you imagine what these top coaches are bringing home? I don't want to be a top coach. Not my jam. Not what not on my vision board, because that is just like the amount of work they put in is insane. Because think of how much Shane works. Like, think of how much Shane Fryer works every single day, and then think about what these top coaches are doing, right? Like, it's insane to me, because they show up every single day, because they have the vision and they have the belief, and they can take their kids to Disney and they can do whatever the fuck they want to do, because they have financial freedom. So, yep, they stayed up late and they got up early and they worked out every day and they did their power hours every day. And now they have what we don't have, some of us don't have, because they put the work in. So, yeah, there's going to be sacrifice. Like, absolutely, there's going to be sacrifice, but it is absolutely possible. And it's basic. Like, are you listening to personal development? Are you doing? Yeah.
Jess, can you just take a second and mute a few people?
Yeah. Let me see.
There's a few that are unmuted.
Hold on. Mute.
Oh, are you sure?
Okay, I think I got them. Let me just look at the chat too. Do you guys have any questions? I know I love you, Maggie. I told Maggie I was gonna hit nothing. What?
Can you hear me?
Yes. What'd you say, Trish?
So I will never ever forget what Jessica told me before she was flying to California alone. Again, fear equals growth, and she knows that, and she knew she had to make this happen. She does not like leaving her family, and she said to me, Trisha, if I'm going to California, I'm going to be fucking elite. Like, she's like, I am going to be an elite coach, and I was like crying. I'm like, yes. I will never, ever, ever forget that moment. I believe it with everything that I have. Seriously, Jessica, I love you.
Thank you. I think, Trish and I have been running challenge groups for a really long time. And anyone that's been a coach runs challenge groups. And that was, I'm just going to kind of share some of the things that I learned that spoke to me. And one of them was, one of the coaches said they hated their challenge group, that they actually hated their challenge group. They didn't want to show up to it. They didn't want to post in it. They felt like it was like phony, and they just didn't like it. They didn't want to invite to it. And so she had to change that. And when she was speaking, I looked at Maria and I was like, that's our group. Like, Trish and I came home from Summit and we're like, Mwah. Like, we're all sat with our group. We were just like not happy with it. We were feeling like it was just lackluster. And so there are times that, yeah, it's just coaches posting, but you know what? We show up every single day and we feel happy about it. And when we get feedback about how our group is, it like lights us up. We're like, yes, like this is why we do what we do. And so if you don't like something about this business, that's on you to fix. If you don't like if you're, if you're one of my coaches and you're like, I don't like Fitspiration, I hate it, that's okay. You can hate something and just go do your own thing. That's not an offend. That doesn't offend anyone. That's cool. Like, do you, like, be excited about this business, because if you're not excited about it, there is no point for you to do it. And like Trish said, if I'm not going to hustle, then I'm not getting on a plane and leaving my kids and going to California. I'm not, because there's no point. There is no point for me to fly across the country on a 6-hour flight to waste my time to be like, yay, beach body, I love it. Okay, I could like do that from home. No, I need to work. I need to go there and do the work. And I'm home and I'm doing the work. And when I catch myself like saying, I don't need to invite, I'm already SC8. And I catch myself saying that, I'm like, oh, I want you to all know, it is February, it is Team Cup. I have never hit Success Club in a February. Don't know why. I can hit Success Club any other month. I have never hit Success Club in February. I was SC5 before I got on the plane. Like, it is non-negotiable for me now. And I have 2 more months to be like Success Club, whatever, All-Star. I don't even know what it's called. And I want the thing on my name band at Summit. Like, that's the goal. I want to have a lot of things on my name band. I am driven by that. Some people are driven by money. Some people are driven by, I'm driven by free things and like, and public speaking. Like, if you told me I could public speak anywhere, I'd be like, what do I got to do? When Shane says, can you do a power hour? I'm like, yes, I could stay up until 9 o'clock at night and do something I do not want to do because I love public speaking. I'm on it. There are things that you'll find that you like, and you need to go towards those things. And if you don't like something, you have to change it. It is your responsibility to make the change. It is your responsibility to show up every day. If you don't want to, then don't. Like, it's that simple. And it wasn't for me. Like, if I was listening to this years ago, I would have been like, no, it's really not. But can you just give me an invite script? And now,
I need to chime in one more time.
yeah.
Sorry, I just have to. The other thing that I think is absolutely key with Jessica's story and how this can resonate with so many, like being your authentic self. Me and her admit, like before we were into Beachbody, we didn't like exercise. Like we knew we had to do it in order to lose the weight, have more energy, feel good in our own skin and all that stuff. But that doesn't make me like it. Like we don't like getting up,
No.
but we know how good we're going to feel after. And when we speak the truth, and those are the type of people that we're going to draw to us. You know what I mean? Anyways,
So-
my point wasn't that. My point was that Jessica had a huge transformation. She completed many programs. She dove right into 2B mindset and ran with it. That was just her jam. And that is when her confidence was built. So if you're sitting on this call right now and you have not completed a program,
Yeah.
and you have not found your thing with nutrition or what have you, you need to sit down and you need to plan that out like right now. Can you agree with that, Jess? Like your confidence blew
Absolutely.
up
And I
because
think I never thought that I could. So again, just like I never thought that I could even make a little bit of money. Like, I never had the belief. I never believed that I could weigh what I weigh today. I was always like, okay, well, I'll lose like the 30 pounds of pregnancy and I'll do a little workout and then that's perfect. And then I'll, eat some cookies and it'll all be fine. And I'll never like to think that I could lose 70 pounds. Oh my God, that's insane. Sometimes I look at myself and I'm like, damn girl, who you? I never thought that could happen. When I was at New Leader and I was not the biggest girl in the room, I was like, wow, when did this happen?
I gotta stop you because not only are you not the biggest girl, you're like one of the smallest. I was staring at your legs and I said to my husband, you've got to see Jessica's, he goes, whoa, Jessica, like you still see yourself as not the biggest girl. You're one of the smallest girls now. And you still can't connect that, girl, because you are. And I mean, your legs, like, I always say I'm on Kelly Keely's legs. And now I'm like, shit, I think I'm on Jessica's too.
Okay, well, can I have your business and you can have my legs? But it's Shane, and it was so true when I'm saying it. Like when I think of you and how hard you work, and then I think of these like crazy top coaches, like, does that blow your mind still too? Because you work hard. You're muted. You're muted.
Oh, sorry. Do you mean like the top 10 numbers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. So I don't want to put this in a, I don't want to say this come out the wrong way. It's just another, I don't really understand it. Like, I don't think you take my work ethic and multiply it to get that. I think they're doing something very different that I don't even understand. And, they have found a very specific niche that is absolutely mind-blowing, almost for me.
Honestly,
it's almost mind-blowing that they found their thing, and I'm in awe of that. but I feel like top 10 is like a great goal, but I feel like that's not what I like to look at. I like to just look at the top 200
Yeah.
because I think that's real achievable. And all that is, in my opinion, is doing relatively well in all areas. You know, I'm not saying great. There's a ton of weaknesses I have. Relatively well in all areas, but then maximizing the numbers in every area. The difference between me and someone that's ranked 40 would probably be numbers. That's really it.
Absolutely.
Top
Absolutely.
10 is like they found a little bit of magic, and I wish I could drink that Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
And I'm not taking anything away from them. I am in complete awe. And it was
Yeah.
never my goal. I'll be honest. It was never on my vision bowl.
Yeah.
But I say look at the top 200 coaches because, and then find the 5 that you are most like, and then follow them and study them and raise your numbers. It's always a numbers game. Just whatever you're doing, multiply it by 3. That's it.
Yeah, and I agree with what Shane said too. I think, and you have to be careful with what she said, in the sense of, you want to find a coach that's in that top 200 range that's your jam, but you also want to be careful. And I have to do this where, like, I'll, like, Christina Battaglia, she's my girl. When I found her is actually probably when I found her after Summit, it's probably when my business exploded the most, because we have a very similar story, and she's like a superstar diamond coach. And I was like, why? Like, you wear pajama pants that cost you $800 million, but, like, I'm confused. You're like a mom of 3. Like, I just didn't understand. She had like this very, like, her story was nothing special. And I just kept, like, watching her, and I'd comment on her stuff, and she'd comment back and be like, boo, like, I'm nothing special. You can do the same thing I'm doing. I was like, oh, okay.
It was how she shared it and how often she shared it.
Yeah. She just
That's all.
shared it so real. She shared it real. She was herself. She was unapologetic about it. And I think that's the key, is, like, being unapologetic. But I don't watch her stories every single day, because I found that I was getting, like, wrapped up in them. And then you're just wasting time. You don't want to get in the time suck. So you want to, maybe go pop and watch a couple of those people's stories to get a feel for their vibe, and to get a feel for how, like Shane said, how are they sharing the business opportunity? How are they sharing certain things? But you got to be careful, because you don't want to get wrapped up in watching 20 minutes of someone's stories, and then you've wasted 20 minutes, and then the excuse is going to be, well, I didn't have time to invite. I didn't have time to work my business. Like, you got to just quick glances, and then you're out.
Hey, Jess, I feel like there are coaches on this call right now that want to ask you something and they're not. So I'm going to challenge you guys. If you're sitting there looking at the screen and you're saying to yourself, but how? I want you to unmute, and I want you to ask Jessica, because I can easily ask Jessica to say this, but I already know how. And I'm watching these faces and I see you guys and I know what you're thinking. You're like, I hear you. Okay. Took you 6 years. I'm doing, but how? Like, why? How can I be Jessica? So obviously we hear that the transformation's key, picking a program for love of God, pick a program and do it. But I am looking at faces that have transformations, Jess. I'm looking at faces that have belief.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there going, I signed 2 coaches this year. And I know they want to ask you. And I'm going to challenge you guys to unmute and ask her, because that's what we're here for. We're a family. If you can't ask Jess now, we're in 6 months, it's going to be the same story. So unmute and ask her. Like, let's get unstuck right now.
Is there something that you guys are struggling with that is, like, just, like, the hardest thing for you, and you're like, I just don't understand?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So Jess, tell me, because I see you, like, exude confidence, and you're just, like, so, like, unapologetic, like you said, and you have just this fire. And I get in my own head. I start to second guess things, and I don't push as hard as I know I can because I hold myself back. So like, where do you find that belief and that confidence? Like, where does that come from?
So I would say, I mean, definitely, I know this is going to sound crazy, but my husband is very supportive, so I'm very lucky. So he's always been telling me to be this person. So one, having support is key. But I genuinely, Candace, I was just sick of not being me. You know, I mean, at some point, like, how old do I have to be? That's like what I kept saying, like, how old, like when people say like, oh, when I like was 40, I stopped, caring what people think. Like, no, like what, like why do I care? I think that having kids changed me. Look at your kids and say, do you want them to see you as a mom that gives a shit what people think? Or do you want them to see you as a badass mom who like did everything? When I got on that plane and my kid was crying and was like, please don't go, mom. And I was like, babe, I'm getting on a plane by myself. And I'm doing this to show you that it's okay to do scary things and that you have to be brave. And like, that's been my mantra. So like being brave has been my mantra. So when I'm going to hit post, like, and just so you all know, I don't know if anyone watches Alana's stories, but apparently the 2B Mindset apparel is being branded with Be Brave at Summit this year. So if anyone knows, my team is Team Dare to Be Brave. And that is the 2B Mindset like phrase, which I did not know. I think Alana swiped it for me, I'm going to be honest. But that's it, Candace. I just, from doing our programs, look at you, look at the success you have. And you just have to every day you need to wake up. And I, like when we read Keith Callahan's book, like I'm a leader of leaders, like I genuinely write in my 2B Mindset tracker. So whatever it is you have, like I write, I'm a leader of leaders. I am brave. I do that. I do those affirmations, and I never thought I'd be sitting here saying that I do those things, but I do. It's the stupid things. I don't have a secret. Like there's no secret sauce. It's just that I don't give an F anymore. I hope that was a little helpful.
But was there a moment, was there an aha, was there something? I feel like we all look for that answer, like, but tell me what it is. And I know it's different for everyone, but what was your, like, if I'm getting on this plane, but there's more to it than that. What was okay, so back up. I do remember you being on maternity with your daughter and calling me and saying, I am sitting in this bed broke and I'm done and I'm not going to sit on this anymore. But so that was like a low point. You're sitting there, you have these babies, you have no money. So I guess that's what I'm getting at is, was your back against the wall finally? Does it have to, because there's a lot of people, it doesn't get that bad, Jess. Your back was so against the wall. Like you were like, this is it, shit or get off. You had to go. But what about the coach that it's not that bad? Like, we're okay. Like, back's not against the wall.
So I think for that, you need to, so before my back was against the wall, I could have been making an income. And I think that's the thing that like, you have to almost get it into your soul where it bothers you to say, what if your back was against the wall? What if you lost your job tomorrow? Would you have regret that you didn't go all in? Would you have regret that you went to bed? So it was, I think last night, Anita Myron was doing the call. I was tired and I wanted to go to bed, but I thought if I turn this off and I don't finish this power hour and I lose my job tomorrow, will I be any closer to being successful? Not if I go to bed. And I need sleep, don't get me wrong, but like that's, I think, what you have to get in your head is that, is this side hustle? Is this opportunity? You were invited to an opportunity, right? I'm gonna like put it in quotes because we all say like, I had this opportunity for you. Great. But you got invited to it. So are you gonna sit on it or are you gonna actually have a plan B? When you go into work tomorrow and your boss fires you, what are you gonna do? You're gonna do what I did and be laying in a bed, on bed rest, and like Shane said, calling Shane and saying, please help me, even though she offered to help me a gazillion times before that point, but I didn't want it until I was sitting in a bed broke as shit. And now, thank God, income disclaimer here, my, $300 a week, make sure that I can get groceries and that I can pay my daughter's school every week, and I don't have to keep taking from my savings every week because I don't have enough to pay my bills.
Let me ask you this. Do you kick yourself? Like, is there a bit of anger that, shit, you know what
Absolutely.
I could be making? Like, does that fire? Because that used to fire me up. Like,
When
I
I
can
saw
see
your
that.
post today, when I saw your post today, I was so angry at myself. And actually Summit really made me angry at myself. And I had to walk away inspired, but Summit made me angry because I sat there, and Trisha, remember, I cried. I looked at her and I cried and I said, what a waste of fucking time. And she looked at me and she's like, but I was like, what a waste of fucking time that I sat on this shit. And there are people up there that are living with their home with their babies. Can you imagine? I've had 2 more babies since I signed up. What if I could have been a stay-at-home mom? Like that makes me like ill. What if right now I could be home with Cecilia, but I'm not. I go to a job every single day that I hate.
So you're tying an emotion to it. So I think that's what we're getting at, is what's their emotion and how do they tie it, and how does that that's the yellow brick road, right? Like,
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
whatever it's whether it's anger or fear or sadness or disappointment, it's tying that emotion and the what if. Like, do you think 5 days before Christmas, I thought my husband was going to get told you're being forced to resign?
No.
If I had taken my foot off the gas like so many star diamonds and my income was cut in half, this would be a very different February. And it's not. My life has not altered at all because of me. And so I think of that every day I hustle, that, okay, now I really got to go. But I think about that every day, that, and like, what if I had, not that I ever, like, it never even crossed my mind, by the way, but I see so many star diamonds and it's like, where'd they go? But the
Yeah.
minute life happens. And so it was a reality check that I needed. I think it was a reality check for you guys to even see me humbled, to be humbled and say, I thank God never took this for granted and never will. But it's also why I work so incredibly hard, because I'll never take this for granted, because this is not promised. I earn every penny I make. But it's also because had I not worked that day, I wouldn't have signed Dawn. Had I not worked last Friday, I wouldn't have found Michelle. I wouldn't have signed Jessica. Like, I think about that. What if I didn't invite so-and-so and I didn't sign my last emerald? I always think about that too.
It's a good way to think of it. So I want to close it out by something that was really compliance actually did. And Shane, you just reminded me when you said it, just about, that you earned your income. And so compliance came and did a presentation for us. And it was really interesting because Maria and I ate breakfast with a girl that worked for compliance. And we learned a lot of very interesting things that, we won't go into detail today. But what I do want to say is, Advocare is no longer an MLM because of false advertising. And so they wanted to just make sure that we understood as Team Beachbody that when we're sharing things, when we're sharing about Energize, or we're sharing about our transformations, that it's important to put, our own disclaimers on it, right? Like when it's our opinion, if we're posting a side by side, that's us, awesome. But if I'm going to take someone else's side by side, I need to make sure that I'm putting, what programs did that person do? I can't just go grab someone's picture off Google and say, oh, they lost 70 pounds using 2B mindset. Okay, well, we need to make sure, because what happened to Advocare is that they were revoked their MLM, whatever, because they were doing false advertising and they were taking false before and after pictures. And they were also doing a lot of like the financial part. So let's say we have that post that we put, and that's why I said everyone share yourself. So if you take that post and you say Jess made X, Y, and Z and paid her car, cool. But if you take it and say I made and you really didn't, and you say, oh, it's as easy as just using your phone, we have to just be mindful that we can't make promises. We talked a lot about income tonight. We cannot make promises to people. It is up to each one of us to earn that income because of our hard work. And so always make sure you're putting that disclaimer, even if you're putting, thank you, Beachbody, for my Starbucks, because not everyone's going to even earn the $5. So we just need to make sure that we're mindful of that. It was really great. They did a really great presentation, and we're just showing us, you know, you don't want to make false claims about Shakeology. You want to say, like, this is my personal experience. Just like even me with breastfeeding moms, I got a lot of breastfeeding moms that come to me and ask me if this is okay. And I always say, I have used all of the Beachbody products while breastfeeding or pregnant. You have to go to your doctor, or you're making the decision because you're making the decision on your own. But like, Beachbody says you must consult your doctor. So, you know, that's up to other people to say, oh, Jess did it and it's fine, or not. But like, just be mindful that we need to use the disclaimers. We need to use, Beachbody gives us those things to protect us. And like Shane said, to protect our future, because I don't think Shane would be very happy if Beachbody closed tomorrow because she just happened to make a false post. And compliance, when we went to headquarters, like, they're constantly watching Beachbody coaches posts, especially the more income you make, they actually will go and watch your post and make sure that you're doing the right thing in compliance, that you're not double dipping. So just keep that in mind. I don't want to go too deep because we're not all in different things, but yes.
And just to be mindful, because I think the perception is they're so evil. I know it was mine for a little bit. All they want is for us to be successful and
Yes.
to be safe and for our company to survive.
Yeah.
So for example, they are currently going through very, very old posts of top coaches and asking them, hey, listen, you put a post up in January of 2016. You need to take it down. And we're taking it down. And it's just because they're protecting us. And I think that
Yeah.
speaks volumes.
Shane, I couldn't agree more. Maria and I we had a great conversation with them. They said they would hop on a team call. I mean, they were wonderful. And again, they did say, like, even Ashley Molstead, someone had reported her because she was promoting, I don't know if it was nail polish or lashes, something stupid. And they went to her and said, you're promoting this and it's an MLM. And she said, no, no, no. I didn't sign up as the MLM part. I signed up as a affiliate or whatever. And she gave them all the information, was like, I get a commission for people that buy, but I do not sell it. It's not an MLM. Like, they went through. Can you imagine if she lost everything because of something like that? So if you ever have a question, again, we're not at that level, but like Shane's saying, they will help us. They said they will help us in any way. So if you ever have a question, please go through compliance, or again, ask your Star Diamond and we can guide you, just to make sure that, you know, you're not making any mistake like that, because that would be not cool. If no one has any questions, I'll let you guys go. Thank you so much for joining me and listening. I hope it was helpful. And actually, no, one more thing, because I have a minute. Okay, we're going to do this. Everyone go on your phone. And if you're on your phone, it's fine. Just go on your phone. I want you to find a picture of who you're doing this for. So who is it that you coach for? I don't care if it's your dog. Just find that thing or person of why you're coaching. Find it on your phone. Find the picture. When you find the picture, you're going to turn it around and face it to all of us. Go. All right, I see Lori's. Okay. I see Trisha's. Okay. So now I want you to turn around. I want you to look at that picture, and I want you to say to that picture that they don't matter. Because every day that you don't show up, that you don't send an invite, that you don't do what you said you were going to do for them, you're telling them they don't matter. And I'm pretty sure they matter. So I want you guys to, like, set those as your backgrounds. I want you to really, like, dig deep because I set it as my background. I set the picture from when I spoke and the girls had the little bar stuff. I'm like trying to find where to put it, but I put that picture as my background. And then I put that I am an elite coach and that they are worth it. So remember that, because every time you don't do what you said you were going to do, you're saying that those people are not worth it to you. And that is that, my friends. Anyone else got anything to add? Thank you guys. I appreciate you all coming on and hanging out with me. If you have any questions or you want to talk anymore, feel free to message me. I'm happy to share with all of you. Good night.